What's up, people? Today I will be reviewing Hereditary in 4K and Blu-ray, and I got that coming up for you next. So I'm finally getting into some horror leading up into Halloween, and the very first title of horror that I will be getting into is Hereditary. This came out about a week and a half ago, and I am finally getting into it today. As far as the movie itself goes, this movie really surprised me, just because of the fact that I thought that I knew what this was going to be going into it. I thought that it was just going to be this hereditary thing passed down to this kid, and it's going to be like The Omen. You see, from the beginning here, they did something that truly shocked me, and they really stuck with it, and I thought they were going to pull back on it, but from that point on, I will say that I never ever knew where this movie was going to go, and this movie exceeds so well at just making you feel unnerved and unhinged, and really keeps you guessing about what is the deal with this spirit that has obviously taken over this family. Now, you add that with an excellent performance by Toni Collette, who is an actress that I have always liked to begin with. And, I mean, you get a 9 out of 10. This movie is a solid, good time that I feel like, especially if it's your first time seeing this movie, you are going to have an excellent, excellent time just being kept on your toes by this movie. And now to get into the video quality, starting off with the Blu-ray itself. This Blu-ray is a pretty damn good Blu-ray considering the budget of this movie. This movie was made for under 10 million as I understand it, and it looks pretty damn good. Clarity and detail are excellent, especially in close-ups where you get a lot of the characters' pores. You see a lot of the deterioration of just their bodies and how worn out they are. You get a whole lot more detail in them as the film goes on itself. I will say that the black levels here, though, they're a little lacking. I will say that they don't dip as far into black as you would like them to go. And I feel like that is just a drawback of shooting digitally and the budget of this film, but overall, I feel like this Blu-ray is a definite winner, and I will give it an 8 out of 10. And then to get into the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, this was actually a 2K digital intermediate, so it was upscaled to 4K, but it was also given Dolby Vision. So right off the top, I will say that the best part of this 4K release is that the black levels are fixed up from the previous Blu-ray, like I just stated. You get deeper blacks that are a lot more inkier, and you have a lot more shadow detail here. And that is where the HDR truly stands out here. In other ways, it is a lot more subtle, like when light shines through into the house that they are in, or as far as the Dolby Vision is concerned, this is a very light movie on Dolby Vision. I will say that this isn't a real standout for it, but where it does shine is with the fire effects and with the spooky imagery that comes in at the later half of this film. Detail is bumped up from the Blu-ray in all the right ways, and all the ways that you wanted to see it. You get even more detail with close-ups. Wide shots have a lot more detail as well, and overall it is just the sharper transfer that you would want to see as a viewer. So with that being said, I will give this an 8 out of 10 as well. You see all of the upticks that you actually want to see on a 4K disc while still showing the film's budget. I feel like there is just really no real way of getting away from that. And getting into the audio itself, whether you view this on Blu-ray or 4K Ultra HD, you get the same DTS HD 5.1 mix. I was kind of disappointed when I heard about that, but I checked it out with an open mind, and what I will say about it is, as a DTS HD straight up 5.1 mix, it gave me all of the moments that I was really looking for with it. You get a decent amount of speaker separation. The surrounds are used consistently throughout the film, and in the more horror moments of this movie, they definitely kick in as well. Bass response is excellent here, especially during the last 15 minutes of the film where everything goes bonkers crazy. And what I will say that I was generally impressed with this mix, but unfortunately, it just screamed to me that I wanted this in at least Dolby Atmos. I understand that the budget of this film, it doesn't really allow for that, but it just screams for it with the type of film that this becomes. And I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but I was just missing that, and I wanted to express that to you guys. But with that being said, I will also give this an 8 out of 10. This is just a really good DTS HD mix that should have been Dolby Atmos. As far as the digital copy is concerned, you do get a Movies Anywhere digital copy that is accessible on iTunes and Vudu, but unfortunately it is only the standard HD 1080p version, and the 4K version is not available as far as this download is concerned. And getting into the special features for Hereditary, you do get a 20-minute just overall all-circumferencing featurette that goes into the production of this film, and a lot that goes into the decisions that were made towards the latter half of the film. And then you get a handful of deleted scenes and a theatrical trailer, and that is it. I will say that this is lacking, to say the least, and none of these are actually on the 4K disc, and for that, I do have to give this a 4 out of 10. This is subpar as far as special features goes. And getting into my last looks at Hereditary, look, this movie takes you on a real ride. An emotional one just because of the subject matter here of, you know, losing loved ones that you were really conflicted with to begin with, and family history and lineage, and what do you do with all of that? Are you cursed? Are you just damned? Or is there a higher meaning to all of this? And when you add in all of the horror elements here and how unpredictable the story is, you definitely get a movie that is elevated from a regular horror movie just because of the performances and the way that this story is told. I truly did like this one. You guys got to check it out. And when you add up all my scores for Hereditary on Blu-ray and 4K, I come out with the same grade of a 29 out of 40. It is pretty typical of what you would see on Blu-ray and 4K of a horror movie of this budget. But what I will say is, either way that you choose to go with it, just see this movie because it is definitely worth checking out. And if you come out with anything of this review, it should be, check out this movie. So I have a lot coming up for you, especially next week. But as far as this week is concerned, I do have Christine coming to you guys also. And then I have a special treat for somebody that was asking me to do a special review that I do have to do for you guys as well. So I have a lot coming to you, and if you are interested in seeing all of this, subscribe so you know when those videos come out. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. You guys are awesome, and you freaking know it. And I will see all of you next time.